Hi and welcome back to Is What It Is. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Rachel.
I'm Holly.
And I'm Evie.
We just wanted to start by saying a huge thank you to everyone who's tuned in over the last week. Your feedback and well wishes have been very much appreciated.
There's something so special about the power of women supporting women. We are so happy you love listening in with us.
On today's episode, we'll be answering some of your questions and allowing you to get to know us girls a little bit better. We put out a poll to see what you would prefer, and it turns out that the majority of you want to hear from us individually.
We will also be getting stuck into answering some of the dilemmas that have been sent over to us. Just so you know, we are now streaming on YouTube and Spotify, so we would really appreciate if you could share the love on those platforms by liking and subscribing.
Enjoy!
Enjoy!
So I don't know if you guys seen this week, but Jesy Nelson announced that she was leaving Little Mix at the beginning of the week. There's been speculation that this was going to happen for a few weeks, but Jesy finally published a statement on Twitter. The statement read, "The truth is, recently being in a band has really taken a toll on my mental health. I find the constant pressure of being in a girl group and living up to expectations very hard." Now, the band have put out a statement to say that they support Jesy's decision, but what do you think about the reasonings for leaving the band? We can see that she was really struggling with the expectations of what comes with being in a girl group.
Jesy was really insecure though, I think, before she entered the band. When she was an X Factor, you could tell that she wasn't a very confident girl. So I think entering that band without that confidence, you know, isn't really like going to be good, is it?
Yeah.
The comments and that, like the other girls, I think if they got the trolling that she got, they maybe were able to just brush it off the shoulder and be okay, whereas Jesy, because she was so insecure beforehand, she was always going to take them badly, worse than the other girls.
Yeah, and it always seemed that she has had by far the worst like trolls by all of them in the band.
Yeah.
Also, like, I feel if we were in that situation, like, can you imagine how nervous we were whenever we were putting out our first podcast?
Totally.
And like we only have like 100 people
I know.
in with us, so imagine if
Hundreds and thousands of
millions
people.
of people were like judging you every single day. I just couldn't imagine it.
Well, she did put out, she said in an interview that I was watching that she basically, the night that they won the X Factor, she talks about a comment that she got from a man. So she said she won it. It should have been the happiest day of her life. Came off, looked at Facebook, which Facebook at the time, and this man had wrote to her saying something like, "You're the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Why did they put you in this girl band? You deserve to die." So,
God.
like, imagine like the minute like you're
What man sitting on his phone commenting on a young girl's post like that?
Exactly.
like she was constantly being put down. Like, if that's the first comment she received, like, it's so clear that from the beginning she was like
She was
targeted.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's kind of strange though, because it's like the whole world had this opinion on her, and I feel like that's the saddest part of somebody being famous. The public just feel like they have this ownership over this person.
They have the right.
Yeah, like they've got the right to say these things, or like it's like they own them.
And they don't have, like, almost if they don't have feelings, like they're only human.
exactly.
They're like an object, not a person.
Yeah.
And Jessy's been out of all of them, she's been the one girl in the band that really has shown that she is a human.
Yeah.
And that she does have feelings, I feel. But
Yeah. Like, we've seen this with like Princess Diana, Michael Jackson, all those sorts of people too. Like this sense of ownership that
it's like
the public have.
people like see like there's a vulnerability in them, and then they sort of like feel like they can attack, and because they get maybe a bit of a, you know, they can see that it affects them, that it pushes them more to target these people or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like, social media has definitely opened up like a can of worms. I feel like the fact that people don't have to have their real identity on the profiles in which they're posting these negative comments leaves it just so much more open for them to do it. If people actually had put their name to the comment that they were saying, this wouldn't be a thing. Like, there's no way people would put a comment.
Yeah, people make fake profiles and everything just to troll people, which is just bizarre.
Would you say it to the person in real life?
Yeah.
Like, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Like, would you say this in real life to the person?
And it's
to the
like,
face.
and the main
To
thing
their
is
face.
like, you know, the best piece of advice you think you could probably give her would be, and probably so many people would have been giving her, is don't listen to what they're saying. But that is just so hard.
Yeah.
You
know,
don't read the comments. Don't look or don't look at them when you're sitting and you're going to read through
That's
the
the
comments.
only
aren't
thing,
you?
and
Like,
it's not like one or two comments. This is like an influx of comment upon comment. It's just, it's like there's no way of her blocking that out. So
If she like says she goes into a supermarket to get her groceries, like I'm sure she does.
yeah, she's,
But,
she's
and then
deep.
she sees magazines with like her face like on the front cover. Obviously you would like have a wee nosy, or
Yeah.
you would like, and then it says something like, oh, Jesy has put on a couple of pounds or something, you know, that would.
and like, do you know what? I'd love to see the people who are writing this. Like,
Honestly.
what makes them so special that
And
they
perfect.
feel?
Are they perfect?
Yeah,
It's-
it's like you saying with Diane, people feel like they have ownership with it. Like if you've ever watched the documentary, you see the guy who owns the Sun.
Yeah.
He says like, we have to make money. Do you know, this is a business. You know, he's so
Yeah.
heartless about it all. And even if you watch YouTubers, they go on and say something tragic or something big happened in their life that they don't really feel comfortable on going on YouTube and talking about. People are coming under it being like, we deserve to know.
Yeah, like speculation. It's like they own. They
No, you don't deserve
Yeah.
to know. Like, that is their life. You
Yeah,
literally
I
don't
know.
deserve to know.
But that's the other thing, like, they don't deserve to know, but also, if they don't come out and speak about it, the speculation.
Yes.
Like, all the magazines have to, like, feel like they have to print something, so they print lies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been seen so
You'd
many
rather
times.
come out with the truth then.
Yeah, so, like, that's been seen so many times. I don't know if you girls follow Katie Price.
Yeah.
And, God, love that girl. She goes through so
Had a hard
much.
time.
I kind of feel like she loves it though.
Do you?
Yeah, I think Katie Price is definitely the person
For
what
the
is
job.
it? Yeah, but what is that phrase they say? No, bad press is good press. Is
Okay,
that?
maybe.
Bad PR is good PR.
Yeah, I feel like Katie Price is right up that street.
Yeah.
She just
Oh, no.
loves it.
Yes.
I really like her.
When it
and
comes
I,
to our children, maybe not. If it was about her.
definitely not.
Yeah.
No, it has to be about her.
Yeah.
But honestly, and even like the other day, I was looking through, like, as you do, you get like sucked in. Do you ever get sucked into like
Oh,
a
yeah.
web of Instagram and you're
Yes.
ended up in somebody's mum's brother's cousin's photo or something?
Yes.
And that was like the comments that she gets, and like people are really harsh. Like, it's crazy how ridiculous people can
Really?
be.
What about that new website, Tatler?
Yes.
Have you heard it?
I have actually.
It's crazy.
You can just type in anyone.
Yeah,
can't you?
so if you went onto Tatler and Mrs. Hinch, or she gets really bad on it, and so does Stacey Solomon, and people literally just go on to this website to troll them and talk about
So
them. and
anyone can write
anyone. You can make an account, you know, but it doesn't have. It's not really your real name, I don't think.
You see, this is the
Okay.
thing. There is such a thing.
The fact that there's an individual website for this is crazy.
Those sort of like websites should be banned. Like that's who has the right to do that? Like
No, there definitely has to be a law. I think we have to move with the times. This is the generation we are in. Like, we have to move forward. There has to be a legislation against it. It's just not fair.
Exactly.
Because-
You're so right.
Yeah.
There's even local people on Tatler as well. It's so mental. Like, if I wouldn't even nearly go on to it
Yeah.
like, if I had a big following, I wouldn't go near it
Wouldn't
to read
dare.
it. No
No.
way.
Well, also what I kind of got out of what Jesse's statements and like the things that have been going around is the fact that she comes out and like feels like she never really fitted into the band. Has there ever been like a time that you girls feel like you haven't fitted in?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, definitely.
yeah, they're probably
I'm quite good
has
at maybe
been-
pretending to fit in.
yeah,
but
that's true. Yeah, like if I feel like I don't fit in, I'll probably not be fake, but I'll do what I can be to
Make it
fit
look
in.
like you.
Yeah,
yeah.
So like for, I guess like the main like things that you would think about would be first day at your first job, first day at uni, first day at school. Like those are all like firsts, and I think the first time you do something is usually the hardest, and it probably is the first time like you always feel like you don't fit in, don't you?
Yeah, of course.
There's like an element of that, and it's
there's-
okay to feel like that 100%. But what I kind of thought when I was thinking about this is we have the luxury of on those first days there'll be a second day, and usually that day will be better. And for instance, if it's at work and you feel down or you feel upset, that day's going to pass. And if it's a bad day at work, you can leave it in the office. But somebody like Jesy, this is her job, and you know, she's a bad day in the office or something goes wrong, she takes an unflattering photo, it's posted everywhere, and she can't just leave it in the office. She doesn't have that luxury. So I feel like it's a strange position for her to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really sad that she didn't feel like she fit it in, because you would never have thought that from an outsider's.
You wouldn't have.
No, I thought they were like the 4 best of friends, and yeah, that's a really sad statement.
I guess that's their publicist. What do you call that person? A publicist job to make them people think that.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly.
So, for those of you listening in that don't know us, we have been friends for what feels like forever.
Literally.
Yeah. We have grown up together, laughed together, cried together. We have been through it all together. We are so excited to be doing this, and we can't wait to talk to you about relevant issues and topics, things we feel passionate about and things that worry us. You are going to hear it all.
If you've been following us over on our social media platforms, you will know that we've been putting out polls this week to see what you'd like to hear more of. Turns out, majority of you wanted to get to know us better individually. So for the first set of questions, the listeners want to hear from you, Holly. The listener has asked, what is the best thing about being married?
I would say the best thing about being married is it just makes you feel like so secure. I don't think me or Max thought we would have this feeling, but you just feel like a wee bubble, like a wee unit. Like
team.
there is something like you do become like that sort of boyfriend, girlfriend to family.
Yeah.
Like it really,
Literally.
that probably sounds so cringe and
I
cliche,
get it.
but it's actually
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably the security.
Yeah, that is nice.
So the second question, favourite nail colour?
Always dark. Black, dark purple, dark brown.
Yeah.
Summer, spring, autumn, winter, dark.
Agree,
Always
yeah.
a dark colour. Amy's with me.
It's hard to get, like, it's easy to get bored of a very bright colour, I think.
Yeah,
Whereas
so
if
true.
it's dark, you just kind of let it
It just
blend.
goes with everything.
And Holly does my nails, but she gets, like, any nail artist that I've ever went to before Holly has always been like, oh, but do you not want some bright colour design? And I'm like, nude, please. And then Holly gets it. She's like, yes, I love brown. She's like, I love black.
The dark side.
Yeah.
Next question, is married life any different?
Yes and no. Like, yes, it is the same, but then no, where it's just next level. You just, yeah.
It kind of relates to the other question.
It does.
You are just like
It's
a
just
wee
an-
unit.
You
You're
just
doing the same routine every day, but it's different.
And you are just the closest, you've ever probably been, and the strongest you've ever been. So yeah, there's a difference.
That's
Lovely.
actually
It's
such
so
a lovely
nice.
thing to hear, isn't it?
I'm gonna start crying.
cringe.
Max, get the tissues at the ready. What are your favourite fashion staples?
Okay, I thought this was a really good question. So this is probably very not for like everyone, but this is just me. My DMs, my Doc Martens, I probably wear them every day, and I've had them for like 2 or 3 years, and they're the best shoes ever. Go with everything: skirts, jeans, bare leg.
I agree.
They go with it
Very
all.
reliable.
A good coat, because a good coat you can dress up, you can pair it with a hoodie. Good coat just goes with everything. Always a bag, a good statement bag that just dresses up any outfit. And then a little fourth one, which is related to me as well. I will always have hoops, and hoop earrings are me.
You do love the hoops.
Yeah.
I love
Just a
hoops.
little subtle hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like
Definitely.
on Khloe Kardashian's level.
I know.
Oh, so another listener has wrote to you, Holly. Thoughts on Brexit?
My favourite is probably chocolate.
What are you talking about?
Is it not a biscuit?
Oh my god.
I'm joking. I know what Brexit is,
This
but
is not a political show, as you can
I
tell.
do not have a clue about Brexit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
No
know.
comment.
But for those of you listening, it's not a biscuit.
That was a joke.
Okay.
Is there a biscuit that sounds like Brexit?
I don't think so.
Just sounds like a biscuit.
Oh my goodness. So what is your favourite thing about having a small wedding, Holly?
Probably the fact that I didn't have to walk in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
That yeah, that I would have been so nervous.
Yeah.
Probably the fact that I had the day with my family. And I just got to spend every single second and minute with them. So yeah.
And you know, when people have big weddings, they're always so stressed out about having to go and make sure they talk to every family member.
That's so true.
Because they've took like their time and spent money to go to your wedding. So obviously you really need to make sure you like talk to them, so you didn't have that pressure.
But even of having a big wedding, like there's so many stresses.
Yeah.
And would you have girls said that I was stressed? Like, because you were with me that morning. Would you thought I was stressed that morning?
Absolutely not.
Chillaxed morning ever.
Probably the fact that I had 12 people at my wedding, and that's probably why I was so laid back. And it was actually lovely to not be stressed or feeling nervous or sick, you know.
But do you not think like there's like a built up pressure before you get married that everybody makes you feel like you will be pressured and stressed?
Yeah,
so it's like you almost are waiting for that.
You have to feel a certain way.
Yeah.
Because
then if you weren't, you'd be like, why should I be? Like, and then you start to feel nervous again, overthink it.
Well, it's probably because I had the best girls surrounding me, so I was
Don't
fine.
flatter us.
We are the best.
You are.
So somebody else asked, well, what was your favourite parts about living in Australia?
I loved Australia. I loved Sydney. That was one of the best years me and Max have ever had. So obviously the sun is such, you know, the weather is such a big part of it.
Sun goddess, aren't you?
I love the sun. I love the heat. But yeah, the fact that it's just longer days. You get barbecues all the time, and Rich, you can probably agree with me from living in Australia as well. Like, people don't, like, over here people live for the weekends, where in Australia or Sydney, people, like, their balance in life is just all about,
they take each day as it comes and they just go for, like, live in the moment.
Live in the moment, and everything finishes like so early. Like, all the cafes in Sydney like close at 3 o'clock.
What?
Yes.
Oh
like,
my
that's the
gosh.
balance they have. Like,
And everybody just heads to the beach.
Yeah, they're just all about life.
See, over here, but if they close 3 weeks, like, it's absolutely Baltic outside. So if there's no cafes to go to, where would we go?
Yeah, exactly. It's just different countries.
Yeah.
Another viewer or listener said, if your life, this is actually quite a good one, if your life was a film, what would it be called?
It would be a very boring movie and a very boring title. Probably just eat, sleep, do nails and repeat again.
Eat, sleep, nail, repeat.
Yes, lots of eating.
That is very good. So that brings us to the end of our questions.
And we've had a really good response this week with your dilemmas.
Yeah, we really appreciate you getting in touch. We know that it's not always easy to do that because obviously some of the dilemmas can be quite personal, but just know that everything that's sent over is 100% anonymous and no names will be shared. So if you think we can help, definitely pass over the dilemmas.
Yeah. So our first dilemma is telling a friend something that would hurt her. Any advice on this one, Evie?
But it just depends what it is, doesn't it? Like, if it was something that was going to be hurtful, obviously, to her, that wasn't going to benefit her in any way. Like, if Rachel, someone down the street, I overheard someone say something hurtful about you, and it was just them being mean. It wasn't true, or it wasn't a rumour or anything. I would just be, Rachel doesn't need to know that. That's just going to hurt her.
Yeah, there's no point to it.
Yeah, it might knock her confidence a bit or whatever, and it's not true anyway. So I just wouldn't say anything. Although if it was a rumour, you know, that was going about, it's probably something that you need to know, isn't it?
It's something a bit different, isn't it? It just depends what context it's in.
Yeah,
100%.
I do remember a friend of mine, and I know she meant no harm by it, but she told me another girl was saying that she found me annoying and she had to mute my Instagram, and I was like, I just did not need to know that.
But she probably thought it was like,
She might have thought she was helping me in a way.
yeah, she felt like she couldn't keep that sort of secret from you or something.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I just
wish they would.
So some things are better left unsaid. That's probably the best piece of advice for that one.
Yeah. So the second dilemma reads, I met a boy on a dating app. Don't judge. No one's judging here. And we have been messaging for over a month now, and I have kissed him. I'm worried there won't be a spark and he will be crap kisser.
Oh, so she hasn't kissed him yet?
Oh, she hasn't kissed him yet. And she's worried that he will be a crap kisser. Any advice?
So yes, there's definitely no judgment here. I reckon that Tinder and meeting online is like the new modern day fairy tale.
It's kind of the only way you can meet people.
Yeah,
it is.
It's like kids are going to be like, how did you meet mum and dad? And they're going to be like, oh, I swiped right.
In the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, it's got to be such a hard time for people who are single to try and meet people.
Yeah.
But as for your dilemma, you're asking us if, well, look, you're not going to know until you actually do kiss him. So I would just say, don't worry about things that are out of your control. You'll not know if there's a spark until you go for it. And if there isn't a spark, look, just be honest with him.
Yeah.
There's no harm in it. Sure, you're both in the same position. He's maybe thinking the same about you.
It's only been a month.
It's only been a month.
It's not a long time. I just go with the flow.
I would definitely say that's a good one. Just go with the flow and don't stress about it too much.
Yeah.
The next dilemma reads, how do you get rid of the ick? So the ick is like that feeling, isn't it? That you're like, oh, don't really know about this
Not
person.
feeling it. I think if you've got the ick, I think you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if someone's annoying you or something is just like...
And it's not, I think if once you have the ick, it's not really what that person's doing. Like, I think if you met someone and you really liked them and they were doing the exact same thing that the other person was doing that give you the ick, if you really liked them, it wouldn't give you the ick.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. You
I
see over it.
Yeah.
I do think that, yeah, you have to go with your gut in that one. And like, I'm such a strong believer that your gut does tell you what's right and wrong.
Don't force yourself to like
and
someone.
do not force yourself. Like, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I'd say ick, get rid of.
Yeah.
Get rid of that.
In a
situation.
nice way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't lead anybody on and don't do it if you're not feeling it.
Yeah. That is, you're just leading them on. That's so true, Rachel.
So we've came to the end of our second podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning in with us.
We will be back again next week with our midweek Christmas special. So we're going to do 2 podcasts next week.
So make sure and tune in to our Christmas special if you want to get festive with us.
And until then, take life as it comes and remember, it is what it is.